welcome to another episode of Cosmos with Bailey. I'm Bailey and I am a clairvoyant psychic medium and spiritual healer. And today's video is going to, whereabouts in my notes? Today's video is going to be on a few different topics, and it's a sort of a bit of a roundtable video and what's going on at the moment. But first I'm going to talk about the false spirit channels of the earth and how this pertains to the fall of Atlantis. And I'm going to go back a little bit in time to discuss how we got false channels, spirit healers, and all of this other thing that is really, really out of alignment with organic spiritual growth and spiritual guidance and organic natural spirit pathways involving the truth and nature of the creator and spirit. So I'm going to go back in time in Atlantis and discuss the fall of Atlantis and the grid system and how we ended up with leaders and spiritual guides that were not truly coming from spirit. And then I'm also going to talk a little bit about the consciousness divide that's taking place. I am not the only one to pick this up. A lot of really amazing channels are picking up on the consciousness divide and how this is happening. I'm also going to talk about the new spirit pathway, and because there's many groupings taking place on the earth at the moment, what I'm talking about or pertaining to is not for everyone. There are many, many different groupings beginning to form on the earth. For example, we have a lot of souls going back into technology, which is very Atlantean, and it seems to me there's a lot of planetary karma playing out around technology. And some groupings are choosing to stay in that realm. We also have a lot of New Age deception. I think someone called it the New Age deception. A lot of souls will be staying in a type of world where they are really disconnected from their spirits. And this is what I like to call the New Earthers, or groupings that are sort of choosing to stay in a realm of giving their power away to stuff outside of themselves. And then we've got people who are staying firmly rooted in the third dimensional reality, or will continue to replay patterning and energies from the past and the old consciousness. And then we have a new consciousness opening up, the planetary consciousness, with the theme of the return of the Matriarch. So that as that consciousness opens up, that becomes the new leading energy here on the earth, and that is a natural, organic, spiritual pathway that is free from Atlantean abuse of power and free from the false ascension energies. And also it is more about aligning with the truth of spirit and embodying your higher self and going on the journey of expansion and growth through family dynamics and relationship. The really big focus and beauty and art and love that is becoming the new spirit pathway with the return of the Matriarch and what she is offering us through her return to our cosmos. Okay, so let's talk about the false spirit channels and how did we get false spirit channels on the earth, and how did we get people leading who were not truly coming from source consciousness. So I'm going to go a little bit back in time here, and I'm also going to talk about the shutdown, or I'm just going to write it down, the collapse of false channels and what is going on there, because I have scenes and stuff going on up in the dream realms. So, okay, let's go back into Atlantis. So, at the fall of Atlantis, many of us are aware that there was a fallen consciousness that took place, and that was natural and in alignment with the planetary consciousness and its evolution, the Earth's evolution in the cosmos. And Atlantis was operating from a higher consciousness, and it was very technological. There were leaders. Among leaders, we had many kings, and there were ports in eras, but I'm just going to talk about what happened, and it took place over a cycle of 3 years, and this is why I read in 3-year cycles for my energy reports, or 3 months, or 6 months, or 9 months. It just makes complete sense to me, because energy flows into the next. It's not just this month means this, then this month's going to mean this. That is not how energy works in the cosmos. That is very So, false spirit channels in the floor of Atlantis. So, when we were in Atlantis, we had some very, very amazing spirit leaders and guides. And it wasn't so much about a hierarchy, although hierarchy was created in Atlantis. It was more to do with someone's spiritual maturity and their reasons for being incarnated. And so we had steps almost as to who held what position, but it was never about, it was about spirit, service to spirit. It wasn't so much about service to self. So in the collapsing down of what we had going in Atlantis, where there was hierarchy, and in the 3 years where that started to shut down, that's where service to self started to come in. And that's when we started to get people who were not trained in being channels to the higher spiritual realms begin to channel and claim that they were something they were not, out of a service to self. And that was also when we had this false grid. Not a false grid. I actually feel like it's all a part of planetary evolution to have these things take place sometimes. While we are aware that there are some naughty and nefarious beings that did create a type of grid over the earth, it's all part and parcel of spiritual maturity and evolving out of what took place in Atlantis. So, so we had, and what happened was we had the fall of some really amazing leaders into density, and they lost their connection to spirit, and they became very service to self orientated. And a lot of souls who made a choice in Atlantis when that consciousness fell down in density as to where they were going to stay service to self, or they were going to stay spirit, service to spirit. And so whatever the leaders chose in Atlantis set up their entire incarnation pathway through the old world cycle. And this is how we got very, very dualistic leadership. This is how we got very, very survivalist leadership. It's all about me. It's very lower ego. This is the lower ego leadership that we can see playing out in a lot of our world leaders today. So, and it's really important to note that world leaders also have planetary karma. They also need to make the journey out of their lower consciousness. It's all part and parcel. So, so we had people who stepped up into leadership positions that were not coming from service to spirit, it was service to self. And I've been sitting on this for the last few weeks, and I was trying to figure out, how did we get false channels on the earth? Because, and then I started dreaming about some more stuff the last few weeks. And as we move more into this new planetary cycle, and I put another video of the last 3 years in Atlantis, it was like, I felt like, for me personally, I'm sure other people felt this, there was like a replay of Atlantean grasping for spiritual power. and the false ascension grid. And I also wonder if the false ascension grid had something to do with Atlantis, so it was sort of a karmic repeat, asking people what they were going to do this time round. So, yeah, in Atlantis, a grid was created, a service to self grid, and a lot of leaders chose to hop on to that grid out of a need to be powerful from the ego. So that's when we had the fall from spirit, the fall from the cosmos, and we lost our connection and we fell into density when really it was just another cycle, an earth cycle, an earth planetary cycle in a different consciousness. Okay, so and the last 3 years it was sort of this, I picked up a lot of similar things happening where a lot of false channels. You know, we had a lot of false ascension channels, a lot of new earth channels, a lot of starseed channels that have come up over the last 3 years, and a lot of them are very, very service to self. They're not service to spirit. So I'm just going to talk about the collapse of false channels as well, because I've been dreaming of some things. And as we move into this new planetary era of the return of the Matriarch, there is going to be a very, very big shutdown of false spirit and ascension channels. So a lot of souls were not aware of the choice point that was taking place over the last 3 years, and it was a final call out. What are you wanting to do? And a lot of souls I saw chose what they have done for a very long time, and that is their journey. But there is I saw some things last night, a massive collapse in of false spirit channels, because it is not okay to claim channeling for spirit or the higher dimensions, and you are not coming from those dimensions. It's actually incredibly not okay to do that, because there are a lot of souls awakening on this earth. There's a lot of change and collapse taking place, and it is not okay to herd people into your channeling because you want money and popularity. That is absolutely despicable. If someone is truly coming from spirit, it'll never ever be about a popularity contest. It'll never ever be to service the lower ego. It'll be to service the cosmos and support other soul journeys. So there will be a massive shutdown of false channels, because it is not okay here anymore to be claiming coming from spirit when you are coming from your ego. So yes, and this is how we're also going to get the new consciousness divide. So the new consciousness divide, why did I say the new consciousness divide? A lot of channels and other intuitors and healers are very aware that a consciousness divide or a splitting of the earth is taking place. And this is natural. We are in the changing of times here on the earth, and some souls need to stay in the lower realms because that's where the best learning opportunities are. And then we've got other souls sort of in the middle, and then we've got other souls who are moving into a new way of being. So if you want to look at it this way, a lot of souls who are staying in the old consciousness will continue their journey in the old world planetary consciousness, and start having really heavy dark nights of the soul. A lot of fight or flight survivalists, and a lot of very conquering divides still to play out in that energy. And lots of repeating of the past karma, past energies just repeating itself, like dysfunction and stuff like that, and ways of relating that a lot of us want to start evolving and moving out of now. So in the new planetary consciousness, the return of the Matriarch, which has opened up, she is, it depends again what you want for your own spirit journey and what you want to do here. It's your life force. It's your choice as to how you would like to experience yourself. We've been given an opportunity here to choose a different way, and it's up to you to say yes to that and start working with the energies that are becoming available now through our opening of the cosmos into a new planetary era. Yes, the consciousness divide, and so you're going to have a lot of souls who are just going to keep repeating and regurgitating the same energies from the past, and then you're going to have a new group that wants to evolve out of those ways of being and wants to start harmonizing and working with spirit and the higher self, bringing through more love, art, and beauty. Very service to spirit or service to family and service to children and service to relationship and marriage. And as the matriarch comes in, the new spirit pathways start to open up. And a lot of us are going to start feeling to step away from things that maybe held a lot of prominence from the past 2 years. Technology, media, a lot of chaos and disruption, and stepping away from that consciousness and the energies that are playing out and creating something new, and in alignment with the heart and soul. So, new spirit pathways opening up that involve a lot of and knowing love and spirit through relationship and marriage, knowing love and spirit through loving a man, knowing love and spirit through loving a woman, and knowing love and spirit through nurturing and raising children. And also knowing love and spirit through creating new businesses that harmonize and add value to the community and those around you, and also to yourself, so that it's beneficial both ways. A lot of us are going to step away from technology and sort of like the groupthink and start really aligning with the cosmos and the heart and the spirit, in creating things that are more in alignment with love, truth, and beauty. So also with the new planetary consciousness, there are big themes around love and beauty. And I know another intuitive who picked this up, an explosion of renaissance, she said, Jessica Lynn Davis, I will link her. Almost like an art explosion for the next 30 years, or really big feelings on wanting to know your spirit through art and creation, creating with creation, and creating new spirit pathways with creation and your life force creation art, creating with creation. And you sort of start to leave that old consciousness and that old world behind and start working with your connection to spirit and your higher self and your soul, and with others who are on the same wavelength as you. So really big things on love and beauty coming in for the next 3 years. This is not for everyone. You really have to choose where you want to experience yourself and align yourself with the energies that are open to the cosmos. With all my videos, if they are not resonant for you, they are most likely probably not for you in your pathway. There's a lot of stuff going on in the earth, and many different groupings begin to form. So love and beauty. You want a big emphasis on sort of coming back to love in marriage, coming back to love, and keeping connections very sacred and very private, raising your children in a loving, harmonious environment, and really, really think like adding beauty, even if it's just painting your shop front or making things more in alignment with the beauty of your soul and how you want to express that. That is really going to get you far in this new consciousness, is creating beauty from your spirit, creating beauty and love from your spirit. That has to be pure, It has to be honest for you to be working with the return of the matriarch energies. Yeah, just really big emphasis on love and beauty, and what do you want to experience beauty-wise, and also rewiring what beauty means and stepping away from this very AI-driven, Instagram-driven beauty that makes me feel very uncomfortable, because then we start to lose the uniqueness of who we are in our own spirit and how we express through our unique beauty, and we lose individuality, and we lose the unique beauty of each and every one's spirit. What else? Love and beauty. Yeah, and a big emphasis on the spirit pathway being loving and raising children, loving a husband, as I said, in a marriage or wherever you find yourself. Really important to bring yourself back to more love and more beauty in your everyday life, and start aligning with those return of the matriarch energies that are opening up for us, and saying yes to choosing a different way and moving out of the old world planetary consciousness. Okay. Being yourself. Be yourself in these new planetary energies. We do not want any more overlays over our spirit and our souls. And then in the return of the matriarch energies, we want the spirit and the soul here on the earth now. And we want you to be yourself, and we want to see you shine yourself. We want to see your art and your beauty and your truth through what you're creating on the earth. And this makes us very, very happy. It brings more joy and love to the earth when we are happy from within. Okay, I feel like that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy.